Teresa has been on a safari and she's had hunky-dory to accompany her. Okay, it's a virtual safari, but look at all of this. This is what's going to be in our webisode today, and please come play with us. Okay, before we get to the wonderfulness that Teresa's created, just let me give you an overview of what's in this collection. There is the luxury card kit, as you would expect, with 102 foiled die cuts, 8 foiled adorable scoreable, 8 printed adorable scoreable, and this idea sheath that's going to give you lots and lots of ideas. Okay, that's kind of our base. But then also, we love the foiled acetate, and this is foiled in black, and there are 8 sheets. There are 4 designs. You get 2 of each one. Okay, then we have this, which is what they call a perfect background stamping pad, and Teresa uses this quite a bit, so there's just a whole ton of items here. Now these measure 5.5 inches square, and there are 96 sheets. They're all double-sided. I think I showed you that. Okay, and you get 24 designs. You're going to get several of each one. Okay, now that's one. There's also, not to be confused with, this is a bite-sized book of Twilight Safari. This imagery is different, and I'll tell you what it is when I pull out the projects and show you what Teresa used. These measure 4 by 5 3/4, and these are single-sided, and they tend to be the imagery just like so. Okay, so that's what the bite size is as compared with the stamping pad. Okay. Now, there's also so much more. There's also this, which is foiled adorable scoreable. There's 16 sheets, 8 designs. You're going to get 2 of each, and I'll show you the ones that Teresa has used. There is also a big pack of Twilight Safari adorable scoreable, 30 sheets. You get 10 colors. There's lots of them in there. I'll be showing you what they are as what Teresa used, and you're going to get three sheets of every single one, and I'm not even done. Then for doing matting, backgrounds, this is what they call a bumper pack. All of these are black. They are shiny. I'll show them to you as Teresa does. You get 20 sheets of this, so that's a great thing. And then I know you love the inserts, and this is 12 sheets, 12 designs. It is lighter, kind of ghosted back imagery from the adorable scoreable. And then, one more, there is a stamp set. You know, if you're going to have a stamping pad, you should probably have some stamps. All of this is very much in silhouette, so that works out nicely. Okay, now, are you ready to see what our Teresa has done? Because I'm ready to show you. Okay, here is the first one, and this is a much larger card, but it has a surprise inside. As I open it, there's a panel that pops out. And didn't Teresa, of course, do a great job of embellishing it? Okay, let me show you what this is. Now, she took a piece of adorable scoreable, happens to be this one. Now, this is in the card kit, okay? And she has cut it down and scored it. So let me show you. I'll show you on this piece. And so you're going to cut it down to be 11 inches long. So you can see that you're going to start on the right side because we want to get the lion in there. And you're going to end up cutting off just a little bit. So it's going to be 11 inches long. And then you're going to fold it in half, which is going to make it 5.5 by 8 1/4. Just like this. So that is your base. Now we're going to take a piece of the Miri cardstock. Remember that one that's all the same like this? It's all black. And we're going to cut a strip that is 11 5/8 inches long. And that's probably the whole length of the piece. It is. That's the whole length of an A4 size paper. You're going to make it 3 inches long. And then we're going to fold it in half like this, and then fold each of those halves back like this and like this. So then you have this strip. This strip is going to be the piece that's going to go in the center. It's a little bit not deceiving, but because these pieces are tall, it makes you think that those edges are tall, but it's super, super simple to make. A great tool to think about. Now, Teresa has used double-sided tape on each of these areas, but let me go to the front of the card first, okay? So we've got our adorable scorable, which becomes our card base. And then what Teresa has done is she has taken the die cuts, and these are foiled in black. So it's just a very different set. And you can see that this piece is what she has here. It has been raised up on foam tape. The outside frame has been just left glued right to the card itself, okay? And she's also taken another of the die cuts, or excuse me, of the die cuts, My Pride and Joy, and has foam taped that up. So it's really simple to do this. Now this piece is coming from another of the sheet of the die cuts, so you can see that. And then also on the front, there are the sepia diamond sparkles. So she's used those to do 3 right there in graduated sizes. I guess that's the only place she's used them on the front. Now let's go to the inside. The inside of her card has been done with, let me grab it, the insert paper. I don't have it here. Oh my goodness, I am so sorry. Okay, that's for the inside of it. So the inserts, again, are a lighter weight. So that's going to be cut down to fit on the inside of the card in 2 pieces. The directions are down below, and they're going to have all the measurements for you, okay? So you're going to place that down first, and then you're going to take a sheet of the zebra embossed. There it is. There's that whole sheet. Now, Teresa uses this a couple of places, so we'll start it here with just some strips out of it. And I love, now again, you're getting several of the embossed designs, but this happens to be the zebra, as you can see. Now, for the inside of her card, she has used the this piece, and this happens to come from that bite size. But you see what she's done is she's cut it in half, and she's matted it onto that same black that she cut this out of. And that's why you get so many sheets of those, because they're just perfect for matting. So, and then the Warm Wishes, that is also on our die cut sheet right here. And the Birthday Wishes right there. I'm Wild About You right here. And then she's also taken just a piece of the papers and have used those as just a little strip behind these, just to have them pop out. And more of those sparklets are right there, and just all finished. Really, really fun. It really engages you. I like the fact that the lion is looking up to the lioness who's looking down. Just very fun. And there you have it on the back side too. Okay, all of that is our first card. You ready? Oh, one thing I want to tell you is the Adorable Scoreable is really very firm. So when you score it, really do use a bone folder, because that's going to help you get very nice, crisp folds. And that's really going to be important. So that'll be something that you'll want to have probably for all of these projects. Okay, let's move on to the second one. And this is it. And this has one of those foiled acetates on the top. So you open it, and you open it again. Isn't that pretty? Now you kind of can see that there are different color combinations going through this collection. You can see that the orange and the yellow is one. You can see the blues and the kind of beige is another color combination. We'll have some others as we go through. I think there's also a pink combination. So very fun to see as that happens. Now this, although it is just gorgeous, is going to be the last thing that we do. Okay, so I'm going to start here, And what Teresa did is we have our blank card. You know, our cards measure 5 by 6.5. We like using a larger size of card. It's still regular postage, but it just gives us more room to create. And we're going to get in a little bit closer. Steve, can you do that? It just takes a moment for it to happen. Now, this piece of adorable scoreable that comes in the kit is going to be cut down to cover the front of our card. So the way we like to do it is simply put glue on the front of your card, position this as you want it, press it down, then turn your card over and simply cut along the edge. It's perfectly fits, and it just is so much easier. Okay, so that's got our card front going on. Don't you like how this is duplicated here? You've got a mirror image of the rhinos and then a mirror image of the water. I think that's really fun. This rhino is a die cut. There it is on the center. It already has a black border, but Teresa went ahead and did another black on it with the black adorable scoreable. So that just to give it more prominence, okay? So that is our first step. Our second step is to go inside the card. Now for the card, this is the stamping pad, and she has used this to go on the inside, just trimmed it down to fit. Again, the directions are down below and the sizes are there. But she also used this outside frame, and it's this outside frame. So I thought that was very clever. So she used this whole piece to create this card. Then of course you've got all of this left over. And she did, your friendship is a true reflection of how beautiful you are. How nice that is. And that is right here. So that's one of the die cuts. Okay, now when that is all done, and by the way, that's just glued down flat. Everything on the inside is flat. And everything on the front is flat, and that's because this acetate is going to fold over. Now when you go, let me show you that whole sheet of acetate. Here it is. There we go. It's got the grass all the way down. And so what Teresa did is that she cut it to size, but of course she left another ½ inch that way on the back. Scored that, and actually she said she scored it multiple times just to really get a very firm line in there, and then folded it, and then she's going to attach it with our extra sticky tape because that is going to hold everything. Plus it's going to disappear, as you can see right there. So you want to give yourself plenty, and a ½ inch will do it nicely. And isn't that pretty? I love what she's done. Just really, really nice. Okay, so that is our second card. We have 5 of them. Okay, let me show you this. Now, you know about gatefold cards. They always meet in the middle, right? Well, this is a gatefold card, but surprise, it's going to open horizontally instead of vertically. Okay, let me show you what she's done here. Now, she did take another piece of that embossed adorable scoreable that's in that one sheet, and let me show you the measurements. Okay. Now she's going to cut it down to be 11 inches and take 2 3/4 inches, 11 inches by 7.5. Got ahead of myself. 11 inches by 7.5. I'll say that twice. Okay, and then we're going to measure from each side 2 3/4, score. So then when we fold it, they meet in the center, and then surprise, she's going to turn it horizontally. And that's exactly what she did. Now you're going to have some pieces left over. That's great because you're going to need them. And okay, so that becomes our base. And then Teresa took one of the sheets, the double-sided sheets that's in the stamping pad, and she used this for the center. Again, the measurements are in the gallery, but you see how that is? So you can see how the color just pops against the black. Just really, really nice. So she's trimmed that down and placed it right in the center and had those meet so that the black ends up being a big mat around all of this, okay? Then the surprise is to take the die cuts out of the paper pad or the card kit, and she's used this one, and she's also used this one. So the giraffes on both sides have been matted, and they've been matted on the yellow adorable scoreable, as you can see. Again, it just pops, and they've just been placed. Now, the top one is glued, or the left one is glued to the top of the flap. The bottom one is glued to the bottom. And then this little Just For You, which comes from another sheet, it's this sheet with the lions, and that is also attached at the top, just like the one on the left. Okay, now she wanted a little bit of something, but you know, a ribbon, she decided not to. Instead, she went with jute. Now, the jute is a great buy because you get 72 inches each of all of those colors. Just, it's going to last forever. And so she's had a couple of pieces together, made a bow, and zotted that in place. For the inside of her card, let's see what Teresa has done. And there we go. Now remember those pieces that were left over, those strips, wherever they are on my sheet? Okay, so one is going to go right there. And this is the embossed, it's kind of diamonds, but they're all set together. So they're really tight together. So that is going to go down first. Then she has taken another sheet of the stamping pad and placed it right there. She did trim it down just a little bit, trimmed off the bottom, as you can see, matted it on the black adorable scoreable and placed it there. Then, remember back on our sheet, there was a third giraffe. That's going to go just over to the left. And then she has used our dazzles, you know, our 500 greeting dazzles that comes in all those finishes. Well, black is one of them. They're all in script, and the thank you is right there. So the way that this reads is Just For You, and then you open it up, thank you. Isn't that pretty? Don't you love how this imagery kind of just flows? Very, very fun. Okay, there's more. There's more. The woman has been busy. Okay, let me bring one that is using our very, very popular center step cards. Now, with the center step cards, you get 5 cards, you get 5 envelopes, but you also get the patterns for the papers. Now, we do that because we like to very often let the card be the matting. So you see how there's white on the edges? That's just the card. You don't have to mat it. We just let the card do that job. But you do need to cut the papers to the right size, and that is in that package. Now, what she has done is she has taken one of the inserts and she has cut it to be the front of her card, to go on to this upside down T shape. Okay, and this is the one that she used. You can see that great border along the bottom. So that's what she's used there. Then she has used another of the sheets out of the stamping pad, and she's used that to create the 2 borders on each side. So she used kind of more the yellow side than the orange side. Now these are double-sided. These are double-sided, so you get double duty out of all of them. And of course, you get, I think it's 6 sheets of each one, so that works beautifully. Now, to add a little bit more detail, she used the thin line dazzles. Now, this again is a big pack that has black, white, gold, silver, and so she's taken the 2 right there. It's just a touch, but it adds such a really nice touch. Now, we're going to go to our pad. Let me see. Yes. Okay. So here we have, again, the stamping pad, but there's something missing. Well, that comes with the stamps. So we're going to get out the stamps, and we're going to stamp with the Finesse Spectrum Noir. Now, this is waterproof black. It's called Noir Black because that's going to give us a really sharp image. And you can see that she stamped the elephant right there in the sunset. And she also took the bird and stamped it twice. Whoop, let me show you the bird right there. and stamped it twice, going that way and then going that way. Isn't that nice? Okay, then she matted this onto that black, I keep talking about it, finally just show it to you. This is the Mary cardstock. So she's just gonna mat that. Again, the directions are in the gallery. That's about 1/8 of an inch border, okay? So that is going to complete that. Now, going back to the jute, she's wrapped orange around here, just tied a little one. The thinking of you, there is a pattern. It is in, go to the gallery, go to this card, go to the supply list. At the bottom of it, you'll see download, and that will be the pattern for this. Now, where did she get these? That comes from our Tiny Words and Phrases Dazzles. That must be somewhere on my table, but I can't find it. Okay, you'll see that when you look down below and see all the products. Now, for the inside of this, sometimes people do the inside, sometimes they don't. Our Teresa, yep, of course, she did the inside. Now, she's taken another piece of the insert paper and just placed it there. She's done the thin line dazzles on each side. And here is another of the pieces from the stamping pad, and she's placed it there. The Get Better Quick, that's the white sheet of the Tiny Words and Tiny Words and Phrases. And the Thinking of You is obviously the black one, all in the same set. You don't have to buy 2 of them. I do love how the jute plays with this. I think it does such a nice job. Okay, I've got another one, and here it is. Wow, this is fun. Don't you love it when Teresa does these kinds of cards? She's really our resident expert. So this is a card that's going to open right here, and then it's going to expand. Look at that. How fun is that? And you can also see this is the zebra embossed or foiled, excuse me, zebra foiled cardstock. And you saw it earlier, but this is where we really see the big one. Now, let me show you. So this is what the sheet looks like. Yeah, wow. And let me give you the dimensions of how this little puppy's been created. We're going to start with that sheet, but we're going to measure this way. So it's going to be 11 5/8, which is the whole length of the sheet, okay? Because this is an A4 sheet. But we're going to cut it to be 6.5 inches tall, okay? Now, we're going to do some measuring and some scoring. And as you can see, starting from the right-hand side, going to go 4 1/4, score it, go 7 3/4 and score it, and then go 11 1/4 and score it. And you see those lines for the scoring. Now, to get this stair step, I'm going to turn this over. So you've got this in one piece. Then what we're going to do is go to the first score line, measure down 3/4 of an inch, and then cut all the way across. And then we're going to go to the last score line, measure down 3/4 of an inch, and cut off that little piece. Then we're going to put the double-sided tape on this, and we're going to leave it like that just for a minute. Then we're going to cut another piece that's 2 3/4 by 5. We're going to fold this over. We're going to remove that liner, and we're going to place this right here. Now, do you see how we have, let's see, I guess you need to back up for a second, Steve, sorry. Okay, so a little bit more, there we go. Here, let me overlap these. There you go. So you got both of them. Now, the only difference is that on her card, Teresa rounded the corners. You can do that, or you can not. It really makes no difference, but that's just what she's done. Okay, so let me set this aside now that we know how that was all done, and let's go to our card front. And let me pull out the things that Teresa has used, and let me show you. So she is taking this, no, that was a lie. Okay, there are just so many. Okay, here we go. This is out of that stamping pad, and you can tell it because it's the wider one. and turning it over, and she's used this for this front area of that first panel. So she's just used that. That creates the background. Then we're going to go, and she's done something different with this. She has stamped onto the adorable scorable that's orange. Remember, that's that pad that's got all the colors. So you've got the set that's black, and then you've got the set that's all the colors. Obviously, this is from the colors. So she has stamped on here, and she has used the pigment ink pads, or you can use any of the watermark ink pads, either way. And she has stamped this tree and the lion. And then when she cut them out, she left a little bit. So you can go back in now, Steve. Then she just left a little bit of an edge. Thank you. And then she has placed them there with foam tape. The hello comes back from the tiny words and phrases. So that's going to be right there. And just hello is what she's done. Okay, let's go to the inside. Oh, go back a second. She stamped it with this, and then she used the clear embossing powder. This is Stamp Pandas, so that way you get the shiny look, and that's nice. It plays really well against the matte of the paper, so that's a nice thing. Okay, I also like how you're looking at this. You can see these kind of layers going on, topped with that zebra, which is really fun. Okay, now our next one, as we open this, you're going to use the rest of that same paper that you used on the front. You're going to use the Make-A-Wish Dazzles. It also has that little line and the stars. That works nicely. Now, to get our giraffe, let me find it here. Okay, this is on another of the pads, so that's going to go right there. And that's all we have, is just that piece. Okay, now to our next one. We're going to use this one. And what I like that she did is by cutting this where the moon is in half, perfect place to write with more of the tiny words and phrases dazzle. So happy birthday. On this side, she has used this. Now this comes from the bite size. This just gets trimmed down. Again, practically it's done for you. She's used the Celebrate Dazzles, and that is your complete card. That's all she's done. So, so simple. So hopefully you have seen all the wonderful ways that Teresa has used all of these products with the stamps, with the inserts. Oh my goodness. This is the Mary Essentials. Those are the black ones that we kept talking about. The adorable scorable, the big pad. This is the adorable scorable that is foiled, so that gave us the zebra and all. The stamping pad, the bite size, that wonderful foiled acetate, and then, not to forget, where all the wonderful die cuts come. Now, there is one thing I didn't show you. Now, it is a separate purchase. It's not part of the bundle, but there is this, which is a Twilight Safari acetate easel card. And this is the card that you make. It has more of the foiled on it, and you make this accordion fold card and just place your pieces to make them look like a scenery on the savannah. So really fun. All of that. Oh my goodness. As I said, Teresa's been on a safari, although it's a virtual one. We want to thank you so much for joining us. As I've said 500 times, in the gallery down below, you'll see all of the instructions, that one little pattern. Further down, you can see all the products that Teresa used. And if you go over on the right-hand side of your screen, you're going to see the Money Saver. Now, if you're watching this on YouTube, please head on over to paperwishes.com. See all of the instructions. Take advantage of that Money Saver. I think we may have 2 Money Savers, I'm not sure. And join us. And we love having you, and we're so happy that you're part of our Paper Wishes family. See you next time.